Hey folks, and welcome to Drinking Alone with Friends, a podcast where three friends drink alone together. My name's Chris.
What up? It's Tud.
And I'm Obert.
Hey, Obert.
Yeah.
Do you know what I have?
What do you have?
A working dishwasher. Do you have a working dishwasher?
I do have working dishwasher. Thank you for asking.
Fantastic.
I texted these guys both earlier today because I thought that a big box store with a giant orange logo that shall remain nameless was going to come and deliver and install and remove my old dishwasher, install a new one. And instead, two guys showed up with a dishwasher and said, oh no, we don't install them, and then left. And I had a dishwasher in a box in my kitchen. And then it was up to me to figure out how to get a dishwasher out and put a new dishwasher in a dishwasher-shaped hole I had in my kitchen.
Luckily, Obert is very clearly a seasoned dishwasher installer, right? Like,
Yep. And I was telling them too, you know, I love just mixing electricity and water on my own. That's a fun one at home to do.
It seems like nothing could go wrong.
Right. Yeah. I don't see any possibility of anything going wrong with that.
So was I right, though, that it's really just a power cord and two hoses? Like, I just did the same thing.
You are right. You are right. I mean, I was first like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. I don't know. It would basically like me going in and trying to replace my hot water heater. It was kind of what I thought. But I YouTubed it, and I'm like, okay, this still seems kind of complicated. And the old one there's a lot of wires attached to a lot of things that I had to do to take the old one out. But the new one, you're right. It was as simple as just plugging in an outlet once I got the old one out.
Okay,
But,
so it was just an outlet. You didn't have to hardwire anything in, no twisties, no nothing.
No, I did have to unhardwire the old one, but fortunately there was a plug where I could plug the new one in. But 3 short hours later, I almost had a dishwasher working.
I have one more follow-up question. What'd you do with the live wires that the old dishwasher used to be hooked up to?
It turns out the old exposed wires came out of a plug into an outlet.
Oh.
So the old plug came to be, a positive, negative, and ground that were then all wired into my dishwasher that I had to disconnect. But then I could just unplug that whole thing from the wall, from the plug, and plug in my new one.
Thank God. That sounds like a nightmare.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I was like, I get freaked out when I deal with electricity. I turned literally every circuit breaker in my house off. I'm like,
you don't want to mess around with it.
I turned the connection under my sink off. I turned the water main to my house off. I turned all the electricity I possibly could. It was just me in the dark trying to install a dishwasher.
So once you installed it, you had no idea if by turning on all this stuff, if your house is A, going to explode, or B, have water,
yeah.
or C,
Right.
just nothing would work. I mean, what if you did it and just nothing came back on?
That could have been an option. Electricity puddle, fourth option too.
I think that's how you become Alex Mack. That isn't that the secret woman who could turn into a
I think
puddle?
that's what she was installing a dishwasher. I think I remember that was their origin story. And then she was trying to go after the dishwasher company the whole show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Man, you were so close to becoming a superhero.
That turns into a puddle.
A puddle of
That's my power.
metal. I don't know. What a
You can
weird,
make
what a
things
weird
float.
show. Kids, this was a real show, by the way.
This was a real
Yes.
show.
Oh,
Ask your
man.
parents.
Yes.
The same ones who are listening to this podcast.
You could be 21 years old listening to this podcast and be born after the show was done airing.
That is true.
I know. We're old now. Don't think about it. Oh, man. Yeah,
But unfortunately, I still have an old dishwasher in my house.
Wait, I thought they were taking the dishwasher away.
No.
They left. They dropped one off and said, "Okay, we're leaving
All right, bye.
now. We're not
But
going to
they're
wait for
supposed
you
to-
to
I thought they were supposed to take the other dishwasher with them.
listen." Never buy an appliance from a store that has a giant orange logo.
See, I just
can
did
second
this.
I can
from
second that.
from the same store that you bought it from. They delivered it. I didn't pay them to install it, but they would have installed it. They would have had to send out a plumber. And the reason I didn't pay for the install is because my house is so freaking old that a lot of things tend to go wrong when I try to do anything to my house, like pipe-wise or anything like that, that plumbers always get freaked out about.
Okay, so you're like, listen, I don't think a professional is capable of doing this job.
Correct.
I'm going to do it.
Correct. Like the last time I got my dishwasher.
I'm the best choice.
When I got my washing machine delivered from the big orange store, they came in and they were like, your pipes are like slightly corroded because they had like the blue stuff on them. So they're like, we can't install this for you. In fact, we have to take the...
You're going to need a better plumber than me.
Well, they said, in fact, we have to take the washing machine back until you have a real plumber come out to fix it before we can install it. And I somehow convinced them to leave the washing machine behind. I then replaced the piece myself. Washing machine's been fine. Cleans my clothes, it's great. So this time, I was like, I'm not paying for installation that I'm not getting. Like...
Yeah.
Right.
So I did it all myself.
Crazy.
No, I got on their website. Well, first of all, yeah, they show up and they're like, no, you got to call like an electrician or a plumber or somebody. Like they weren't like, call this guy. And then you go on their website and they're like, yeah, type in your zip code and we'll tell you who to, and they're like, no, sorry, we got nobody for you. Like, well, I guess I'm doing it myself then. I'm no Tud. We should call you Mario because you're a super plumber.
You're like, it's like the whole pirate thing where you're like, I am the plumber now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm the plumber now. That's how you become a plumber, actually.
You look one dead in the eyes and steal their power.
I'm the plumber now.
That's what Bowser was trying to do to Mario for all those games.
We didn't know.
We didn't know. Then Mega Man style, you like absorb their power. You become the plumber.
I thought that was Kirby.
Kirby does it too. Yeah. But Kirby eats them, and I was gonna say Kirby, but then I was like, well, Obert's not.
And then he poops them out.
That's one thing I've come to realize in my old age is that I'm not a handy person. I'm not handy. I did not pick up those skills. Did not practice.
And it's too late to learn now.
Well, yeah. I mean, I might as well just every house I buy from here on out has to be new. It has to be new. With nothing that ever goes wrong.
After like 10 years, you have to sell it and get a new one.
Yeah, it's like okay, no, I can't replace a faucet. That's it.
Maybe you can ask the next house you buy if they can throw in a landlord for you to like fix the stuff. Like, you guys got a landlord that you can have just like come take care of my stuff.
Yeah, do you guys have one? I'll rent one. I'll rent a landlord. Oh man, but I slowly but surely I picked up some things. But I mean, like things like garbage disposals, they freak me out because I didn't grow up with a garbage disposal. Like
they freak me out too.
I didn't have
one. They do freak me out as well. I don't want to.
I also go to the circuit box and turn off all the electricity before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Stick my hand in there.
Like there was one time where we had an issue with a garbage disposal. I think it was in my Tennessee house, and Dana was like, "Oh, just like stick your hand in there and grab whatever's stuck." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" She's like, "What?"
Dana's like, "I'm gonna hold my hand right over the switch so no one can flip it."
while I'm rocking a baby in the other arm, like yeah. She's like, "Don't worry, nothing's gonna." She's like, "Who's gonna turn it on?" But what if something happens? What if a rat runs up the wall?
What if there's a random earthquake that throws all the light switches in my house on?
Yeah, I'm like, "There's no way I'm sticking my hand in there. No way." But oh man,
end of the story. Chris stuck his hand in there and got the thing out.
Yep. I think I did end up throwing the breaker on it though.
And that was the last time Chris ever used the garbage disposal. There's still a little spoon stuck in there to this day.
So it's the last time Chris used his right hand.
Oh man, but man,
well, all of this
house
hands.
Oh, okay. 2 different ways to go with it.
Or housework is making
all
me
this
thirsty.
Dishwasher installation is making me thirsty. I really could have used a beer around 11 o'clock this morning when I was
swearing at your dishwasher.
Yeah, trying to not electrocute myself. But all right, I think Tud's leading us off this week, right? What do you got for us?
It's beer 30, and I'm thirsty. I've been working like a dog all week long, so maybe something cold won't hurt me. 'Cause it's beer 30, and it's time to party. Yeah, baby.
So I'm going to put this out there in the ether, and I'm going to say that if you listened to this week's pregame episode of Drinking Alone with Friends, I may have teased a beer that I would be drinking on this here episode. And I think it may go down as the most expensive beer that anybody's ever drank on this podcast. Outside of potentially, I think we might have had a Utopia at one point on like when we're all together.
A special, yeah.
But this is single-handedly, I think the whole beer is the most expensive beer somebody will have drank.
Okay, I think the most expensive beer I've ever had on the show was about $30, maybe $29.
Chris?
Yeah, probably about maybe $20-25.
Okay.
Well, outside of the Utopias, yeah.
So
probably about that.
This beer came in at $64.99.
Wow. Man, that inflation is real.
Yeah, it's the price of beer going forward. No, this is Goose Island's Bourbon County Double Barrel brand Toasted Barrel Stout. So,
What?
Yeah, this is a 2021 bottle, and it was aged for 1 year in Elijah Craig small batch bourbon barrels, and then aged for another year in Elijah Craig toasted bourbon barrels.
Wow. Now, did you mention that you had this on a previous show? This sounds kind of familiar.
No, I bought this past weekend.
Oh, cool. So, but it was, I get confused with the years. Was it released in 2021?
It is, yes. It's the one that came out the day after this past Thanksgiving. So, there is a long paragraph
Oh, wow.
on the back of this container. I don't know if I should read the whole thing. But basically what it says is that last year when Heaven Hill, who's the owner of Elijah Craig, they launched their toasted barrel finished bourbon.
Mr. Heaven did?
Yes, Heaven Hill did. Mr. Hill.
Okay. Mr. Hill.
The brewery jumped at the chance to take a barrel from them and to be able to age some beer in it. And they had the perfect beer that was already aging in some Elijah Craig standard bourbon barrels. And so they were able to take that beer and they transferred it into this toasted barrel and they were aged it for another year, resulting in this. So it comes in this nice giant, I think this is cardboard. It's a cardboard tube with two metal sticks on the top. It kind of looks like like what a bottle of scotch would come in.
The same like cardboard tube thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very fancy looking.
Opening it up.
Ooh, it looks like a bourbon barrel.
It is
Bourbon County.
It looks like it is a Bourbon County bottle. Except for that the label is blue and it says 2021. It was brewed out of the Chicago, Illinois Goose Island Brewery. I'm supposed to enjoy it in a snifter, as according to the bottle, and it weighs in. Oh, does it not say? I don't think it has an ABV.
Check the tube.
An undisclosed ABV. Tud, you better get a snifter. If I was drinking a $65 bottle of beer, I would have a snifter.
Well, so I do have
chug it from the bottle. Those are the only two options.
I don't see any ABV. So ABV-less. Oh no, right here it's printed. Oh Jesus.
4%.
So it's good up until July 20th, 2026. It weighs in at a hefty, and when I mean hefty, I do mean hefty.
Oh man,
16% ABV.
I thought you were gonna go like 18.5. I was like, oh man,
That is wild.
that is a many an ABVs.
So the glass that I'm drinking out of is my bourbon barrel Takuku. This glass.
Teku.
So funny story about this glass. I stole this from bourbon or from Barreled Souls. We were there. I may have drank a little
They
too much.
listen to this podcast every week.
That's okay.
I'm going to email them the podcast.
That's okay. Listen, I could tell them exactly where I took it from. Their last Barrel Club member party, they were giving us all beers out of this. They may have served everybody a little bit too much beer, and I just may have happened to stick it in my pocket.
Well, it didn't end up broken, and this like, when the dogs go to live on the farm upstate, this is like the same thing. Like this glass is living you're giving this glass a much better life having had this beer in it.
Yes.
I agree.
Than it ever could have achieved not having been stolen by you.
I
So
agree.
really, they should be thanking you for taking it.
Exactly.
Right,
And it's on a
right.
hit podcast now, and it's one of my favorite glasses. So, can't believe I'm about to do this, but it says it ages gracefully for 5 years, so I'm definitely ruining this a lot sooner. But let's just dive on in and see what it tastes like.
I don't
5 years,
know.
5 months.
Yeah. I mean, and aging gracefully. Okay, what is that? Is it going to get better, or is it going to be this? Is it going to be the same, smoother? What you need 5.
It might be
of them.
more ABV.
One every year. Spend $300 on beer. Don't tell Caitlin.
So the package store that I bought it from did have like 7 of them in stock. So poured, it's 1 billion SRM. A little bit of head. It's sticking around on the top, but it's not a lot of head. I think the Tekuku glass, is it Teku? How do you say this word? Somebody help me. Teku. I think the Teku glass is a
Teku, right?
yeah, Teku, whatever.
There's no wrong way to say it. I think that's what they say.
It does a pretty good job. This glass historically does a good job of cutting through head on a stout. I think that's one of the kind of the benefits of the glass is that it doesn't really allow head to form. Therefore, you're able to smell more of your aromas of your beer.
Well, I don't like that. I like thick, frothy heads.
It smells boozy.
Bad. Oh,
It
I can
smells
imagine.
real boozy.
well, 60% is nothing to like. I can't remember the last time I can. It was a Utopia's, but like I can't remember a beer I've had that heavy. Like that's insane. That's
It
like
burns
wine.
the nostrils a little bit. I do get a lot of bourbon smells too. Some of that charred oak, which is interesting. But it also smells really sweet. And anybody who's ever had Bourbon County, the beer from this style, even if it's just the normal one, the smell that I'm talking about. It's that Bourbon County smell that you're like, oh, okay, I know what I'm getting myself into. It smells a little too sickeningly sweet, but it never tastes that sweet. It smells like a standard Bourbon County, except for I know that it's significantly more than your standard Bourbon County. And I'm happy that this is the Bourbon County I decided to bring to this podcast. I was going to bring a different one that's cola flavored. It's still in my fridge. I thought about bringing that today too, but this one's worth it.
I think you made the right call.
So
yeah, 100%.
if you want to see this beer in all its glory, please head over to the Instagram where I will post a picture of it. I'm going to take a picture before I do this.
$65 pitcher.
Chris, would you rather have one $65 beer or 65 $1 beers?
Ooh, that's a good question. I honestly probably one $65 beer.
Yeah, same here. I think that's an easy one. It gets a little harder when it's like, would you rather have
6 $10 beers?
3 $20 beers?
Or 3 $20 beers? Yeah, that's tougher. That's tougher.
I could
I'd
get
be pulling out
3 of the
pulling out
regular
the Untappd.
bourbon counties.
Yeah. I don't know. It would be one of those things, though, where I'd be like, when am I ever going to have a bottle like this again,
Exactly.
And it's just like, and it may be the same. Like, maybe the $20 beer is a limited release, too, but I don't know. I don't know.
I would buy this beer if I saw it. If I was
Yeah.
in Ted's shoes, I would have bought it too. But I was thinking, like, I would never spend $65 on, like, a steak at a grocery store. I don't
Right. It's so funny when you think about things like that. You're like, the things that you, like, I mean, without, like you said, drop of a hat, boom, I would have put this in my cart. It would have hurt a little bit when I swiped my credit card, but I would have bought it too. But like, yeah, when I go to a restaurant and I spend $60 for my family to eat, I'm like, oh boy, this was too expensive. but I pay $65 for a bottle of beer, no problem.
All right. Let's, I guess there's nothing left to do but to try this beer out.
Oh, he's throwing up. Oh no.
Drain pour.
It's really, really good. First things first, the 16% ABV, does it burn a little bit? Yeah, but that burn quickly goes away and you just kind of feel it in your chest, kind of like drinking some bourbon. It's kind of just warms the center of your chest a little bit. But it's not overly harsh, which I was expecting, when you see that it's going to age in a barrel or age in a bottle for 5 years, that maybe it's going to be a little harsh and it would mellow out over 5 years. But I mean, is it a little harsh? Yes, but it's nothing that needs to be mellowed out. It's got a lot of chocolate flavors to it. That toasted bourbon flavor or that bourbon barrel flavor is very, very interesting. It's different than any other Bourbon County that I've had before. It's weird to have like a toasty, smoky, almost peaty, but like very, very light peaty type of flavor.
I'm just imagining could you imagine if Goose Island was like They take this beer, we put it in one bourbon barrel, we put it in another bourbon barrel, and they got it out, and they were like, "This actually didn't turn out very good." Like, what would you do?
I think you just sell it and just hope that the hype of the beer sells it.
Right.
I mean, they did it. Apparently, the cola one. That's the other one I was going to bring on the podcast. That one.
That's in Coca-Cola barrels.
Well, I don't know. I think it's supposed to be kind of made like Pepsi. I don't know.
From an old abandoned McDonald's from the 1950s, they found some old barrels in the back, and they were like, "You know what we got to do with these?"
They run the beer through the fountain machine. That's how they do it.
I mean, everybody said that one sucked, so my goal was to actually bring that one to the podcast and like give a critique of like what like the cola one tasted like. But alas, I found this $65 bottle, and I was like, "Oh, this is better."
Yeah.
And I knew that, like, when I bought it, that I had to drink it this week because ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know, I have an extensive bottle collection in my house, and I figured that if I added another fucking bottle to that collection, that it might be the end of me. So I bought it, and I was like, I bought it yesterday, so it immediately has to go. Like, it's really good. It's not too warm, or it's not too cold. I mean, I don't know if it's warm enough to get all the flavors, but it is definitely not cold enough to hide a lot of it. That toasted bourbon barrel definitely does, overpower the other bourbon barrel. I don't really taste much normal bourbon, which I guess you kind of would expect when you add that kind of flavor in with it. The sickeningly sweet smell that you smell on most bourbon counties, it never really follows through on the taste. You get a lot of toastiness, some slight like dark cacao flavor, very bitter more than like sweet, which is just weird and in stark contrast to the way the beer smells. The beer smells like it's going to be the sweetest beer on the planet, and it's almost dry, which is very strange. Overall, it's really good. Is it $65 good? Probably not. Honest review, I don't think that it's probably worth the $65. It tastes very similar to that of the normal Bourbon County.
Which is like $20.
Which is like $20, yeah. It's not 3 times as good as the normal Bourbon County, but it is good. If you ever had the chance to like if I was going to split this with you guys, for example, and we were each going in for 30, completely worth it, if that makes sense. Well, like if I was splitting it with one of you guys.
Okay. Yeah.
I know.
I was like, is Tud getting free beer in this situation?
Yeah. You pay 30, you pay 30. It's tough.
And I'll bring the bottle. Perfect.
I'll bring the bottle. Yeah. It works.
Yeah, exactly. I got to go do all the work. No, like if I was split, like I don't know if we could split this 3 ways. It's it's a Bourbon County bottle, so it's 16.9, so slightly over a pint. But this would be something good to split with. I mean, maybe 3 friends if you were just like, oh hey, everybody have a taste. Everybody give me $20. Bada bing, bada boom. Now we've drank a $65 bottle of bourbon or of Bourbon County. I am going to rate it high though. I do like this beer. It's very, very good. And as a connoisseur of bourbon-aged beers, I think I can speak with high authority to say that this is one of the better ones. A lot of times you get a lot of that sickeningly sweet flavor that kind of carries through. I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Okay, all right.
I really like it.
Not as good as last week's beer.
Not as good as last week's beer, but last week's beer is I'm a big fan of bourbon barrel aged beers, but the hazy hop IPAs are still my wheelhouse.
Right.
I think I'm with you in terms of my favorites.
I have to guess that, especially this one in particular, it probably doesn't have a lot of check-ins, and those check-ins are going to be extremely high because anybody who's dropped this kind of dough is going to make sure that they rate it super high.
5,967.
It's more than I expected.
Wow, that is a lot.
And I will tell you, I give you a little bit of help here.
Oh, he doesn't need it.
One of those is a 2.25.
Thanks, Obert. I still think it's going to be high.
Did you hear the 2.25 though?
Yeah, I know.
Focus on the 2.25. If you go above 3, you're a fool.
Bourbon County has that hashtag hop hype or bourbon hype. I don't know what the hell you call this now. It's got hype.
Stout hype, I guess.
It's got
Barrel
hype. It's one of the few beers left that the Goose Island original owners still brew. Everything else is brewed by InBev, but these guys continue to do this. It's like their sole job, which is great. I mean, I wish I had that job. We're like, hey, what do you do? I release one beer a year.
Right.
How much you get paid?
It's a line of beers. It's a line
It's
of
true.
beers.
I release 7 beers all on the same day once a year.
Yeah.
And I have to go to distilleries around the world to guide their barrels. It's a hard job.
Exactly.
Sounds terrible, honestly.
Seems difficult. I think it's going to be higher than my rating. I think this is one of those beers that you spent this much money and people are just naturally going to rate it higher, except for the guy that rated it 2.25. So I really want to know if he wrote like a paragraph about it after we're done with this. I'm going to guess like a 4.59? 4.5.
Very close. It's 4.58.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 0.01 off.
I had thought about 5.8, and I was like, no, because what if it's like a 6.1? Right?
That was an option. It could have been a 6.0. It could have been a 6.2. But no. Thanks to the one rater of the 2.25, it is a 4.58.
Did the 2.25 guy say anything?
I'm looking at like the bell curve where it shows it all,
yeah.
and I just picked 2.25 as his one ratings. There's also 2 people who rated it a 2. Nobody gave it a 0.75. Looks like the lowest rating on here is a 1.5. Somebody gave it a 1.5.
I mean, I know there's not a lot to go off of a bell curve like this, but of
the almost 6,000 check-ins, 1,000 of them checked in 5 stars.
Okay, wow. That's what I was going to ask. How many checked in as a perfect?
Yeah, 1,074.
They should be bottle caps.
They are.
No, they're stars.
No, they're bottle caps.
No, they're bottle caps.
Wait, have I been living a lie this entire time?
No, they're just 35 really
Holy
tiny
shit, they are
stars.
bottle caps. I thought they were like little suns.
If you put Tud on a podcast for 3 years, eventually he'll create Untapped.
I'm getting there.
I think I read that somewhere.
I'm getting there. So what was the most checked in? Was it 475 or was it 4.5?
No, most people were with you with 1,900 of them rating it a 4.5.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those beers that like, when's the next time you may ever get it?
I mean, I could go buy another bottle tomorrow. I know where to get them, but I don't know if I want to drop them.
If they're still there.
It's true.
I don't know. It's one of those things. I bet you that novelty also helps bump people up a little bit. So, so you were off by like what? Was it 2.25? So you were off by a couple points.
Yeah. So many couple points. I've left the door wide open for someone to take it from me.
You're on the board. I'll write it down just in case we forget.
I'm really pissed that I didn't get a perfect score on that because that would have been great.
I mean, at the rate I get perfect scores, like you might not even win tonight.
Right?
Although, if anybody listened to the pregame that you posted this week, you were really off.
I've gotten twice as many perfect scores as you have. Like, I am way better at it.
It's not true. It's not true. I have 2. Obert doesn't count one of them, but I have 2.
And Ted, you did a superb job getting within 0.01 today. I will say it's much easier to get it that close when the rating is this high.
That is true.
True.
But anyway, who knows? Maybe it's my night. Maybe it's Chris's night. There's only one way to find out, and that's by drinking some beer.
That is true.
So, out of the 2 of you, who wants to go next?
I'll go. I'll take it. I'll take it from here. I have a IPA from my favorite Montana brewery. Definitely my favorite IPA brewery in Montana.
Imagination.
Know your favorite on the show. Imagination. Ted knows it's coming. And I struggle bringing them on so often, but they make great stuff. And I like talking about it. I love describing hazy IPAs to you. I won't deny it.
I'll tell you this.
He's addicted to it.
Their non-IPAs are really good, too. Like, I got a few beer boxes over the summer from, like, those, like, beer club things that I was doing that had imagination in it. And their sours are delicious. Like, I don't know if they do a bad beer. I haven't heard of it yet.
They do very good beers, and this one is called Collective Consciousness. It's got a picture of a lot of silhouettes of people's heads with their brain hemispheres different colors, left and right, or like pink and purple, or red and blue, or whatever. It's all on a black background, and it is a double dry hopped New England style double India Pale Ale, 8.2% ABV, 7 pounds per barrel of Vic Secret, Mosaic, Cryo, and Galaxy and Strata. So sounds like can't go wrong.
I don't think so. Not with that combination.
Yeah. Give it a pour here to my.
So I do think it's been a while since you've had these guys in the podcast. Like at least like 30 episodes.
This might be the first one I've had this year. I think I had one of their stouts.
I don't think I ever noticed that it was Imagine Nation Brewing
Yes.
Company.
Yeah. 2 different words.
Yeah, 2 words. Huh.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Well, let's see here. Just got done pouring it.
Ooh.
Looks like an IPA.
It does look New England.
Looks good. Looks good.
Looks New Englandy. That's a good descriptor for this because I'm salivating just looking at it here. It's got those nice,
It looks like a treehouse glass it looks like a treehouse beer in your treehouse glass.
It absolutely does. It
Yep.
does. It's that nice resiny, bright citrusy color. So let's dive into this beer. Lots of citrusy goodness on the nose. I get more sweeter citrus, maybe more tropical fruit than citrus. I'll say that. Like maybe more mango.
Okay. Fun
But
fact: I bought
maybe-
mango for super cheap this week from the grocery store.
What are you putting down per mango here?
It was from Aldi's. I bought a whole like 2 containers of mango for $2. They had stickers or they had coupons that came off at the register. I was like, you can't beat mango for $2.
No way. I'm happy to hear that you got such a good deal on mango. And,
Mango's delicious.
I don't know if it's just because we're talking about it, but this definitely tastes like mango for sure. It's quite delicious. Man, I'm sad I only have 1 can of this. I might have to go buy a 4-pack. Brewed on Groundhog Day, or canned on Groundhog Day, so still pretty fresh. Yeah, nice juicy kind of back of your throat hop haziness that you get sometimes. This does remind me of a treehouse beer. They're also similar, but maybe like a doppelganger.
So a little bit more hoppy.
Yeah, it's definitely got, like I said, this is a double dry hopped, and you can tell.
Right.
And it's not super high, but 8.2% I think is pretty high for a New England style.
Fun fact: it's half of the ABV of the beer I'm drinking.
Yeah, it is. I would need a whole half growler of this to match it. But I'm really enjoying this beer. Like I said, they never disappoint. They never do. Definitely would buy this again, and hope they brew more. Hope they brew another batch of this. They like to kind of do a lot of one-offs. I've never seen this before, but they have. They have their Lupu juice comes out every season, a couple times a year maybe, and the Lupu Juice 8 is in my fridge right now, and that's a phenomenal beer. I think this one is right up there with it, to be honest. It's not as juicy, but it's still good. Like sometimes I don't really like the West Coast earthier style hops, which as this warms up, which it's been out of the fridge the whole podcast, I'm getting a little bit more notes as it warms up. It's definitely earthier. Like I said, the Doppelganger is not one of their sweeter IPAs that Treehouse makes, but I really like it. I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Nice.
Have you been to their brewery before?
I have. They are right off the highway, actually. If you are ever driving through Missoula on I-90 and it's after 12 o'clock, but before 8 p.m., I recommend making the detour. I don't know, if you're driving from Seattle to Boston and it's day 2, worth making a stop at Imagination. They I talked about them too because they're like a very LGBTQ friendly space, and they have a lot of community events. And I don't want to talk too much about them because I've had them on so many times. I talked about them before, but they really pride themselves on how involved in the community they are. And I would like to read to you what it says about them, but they put this Marcus Foods, if you're listening, you got to stop putting your stickers on the important parts of the can that I want to read. Like, yes, the picture is nice, but cover the picture because this is where they put their stickers on, like the canned on date or like the nice description. And it basically says it's like the first community involved. I don't know. You know what? I'm not even going to do it justice. Thanks, Marcus Foods. You ruined what I was going to say about them. But they donate a percentage of their profits to a lot of their local groups that they host events for. And it's a lot harder, and since COVID started. But they give back they donated a bunch of face shields when COVID first started and things like that. So they really pride themselves on how involved in the community they are.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All that being said, I'm going to give this collective consciousness. I don't know. It's really good. It's really good. Is it 4.5 good though? A couple more sips. It's a little too warm now. I'm not gonna lie. I took it out of the fridge a little too early. An hour, 15 minutes into our recording time. Who would have thought? But
not me.
Yeah, it earned the 4.5. It did.
Nice. Okay. Dang, I need to bring a banger. You guys, 4.5 and 4.5. Well, let's assume 32 other people had this beer.
I was hoping we would break the 50 barrier.
The opposite end of Tud's beer. Yep, 32 people.
Now, if you would have heard that this my beer only had 32 check-ins, you wouldn't be surprised. I'm surprised there's only 32 of yours.
Well, your beer came out 5 months ago. Mine came out 3 weeks ago.
True.
Yeah.
From a brewery
not 5
that
months,
doesn't
3 months. 3 months.
Yeah. And it's from a brewery that doesn't distribute nationally. So it's like,
right.
Yeah, I can see it,
Yeah.
Plus, who knows, maybe 10 friends went in, paid $6 and each got half a shot glass or something like
Everybody's
something
in the Bourbon County timeshare.
Yep.
Oh, but these 32 people, they're fickle. I know the people. At this point, I could be like, oh, who's checked this in? Johnny. Yep. He gives us a 4. But I'm starting to know the Unchapped community here.
Right.
But they're, like I said, they're a little fickle. They should still earn above a 4, though. I'm hoping it earns higher than what I'm going to guess, obviously, because I love this beer. But I think it's only going to get a 4.15.
All right. Well, your wish is your command because it is higher than what you guessed.
Wow.
By a bit.
No way.
4.28.
Wow.
So,
good job, imagination. And thank you to the 32 people who ruined my dreams for tonight.
Yeah, I know. I read it. I saw it, and you raved about it, and I was like, "Ooh, this is gonna be a tough guess." I'm like, "Yeah," but yep, no, 4.28. That's a pretty stout rating. Well,
pretty stout IPA.
It's pretty stout IPA.
Well, I guess there won't be any mooing tonight, but
no,
we still have one more chance for that perfect score.
And if there's ever one person to do it, it's me. As the only two. We're gonna edit all that out. As the 2 perfect scorer person, let's see if we can go for a third. Now I have to look to see what I have because golly, you guys brought the fire. All right, so I don't think I have anything 4.5 worthy. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
It's disappointing.
Not with that attitude.
Outside of Resident Culture and Divine Barrel, the alternate beers in the fridge. I didn't put one in earlier. Shame on me. I do have 2 beers I've never had before. Well, I say 2 beers, 2 drinks, star, that I've not had before. But I don't know.
Please tell me you didn't bring a hard seltzer to the podcast.
No. It's not a hard seltzer.
After today.
No, not a hard seltzer. So I have one which is a hard cider, which I have not had on the pod. And then I have a beer that I think I got from Kiwi, maybe? I either got it from Kiwi or I either got it from my friend Jake. One of the two. It's been sitting in my fridge. It's called Red, White, and Blueberry. So you could probably guess it's probably around, 6/10/21 was the can date on it.
Is it a sour?
It is a wheat ale with fruit and natural flavors.
Oof.
Yep.
That's not getting any younger.
No, well, okay. So I'll read why I've put this off for so long.
This beer is starting to hit me. This is getting insane.
I think oh God, I can't wait to hear this outro. You got me curious about this Red, White, and Blueberry. So
you want me to just go? Do you just want me to go for it then?
I want you to go for it. I think this is kind of a face your beers.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Yes.
Oh man.
All right, so red, white, and blueberry. I'm not going to. I guess I can. I can disclose it. It's kind of like a Face Your Beers. It's old. It's a fruited wheat ale. Both strikes 1 and 2.
You're allergic to flags.
I'm allergic to flags. Yes, well known. It says drink local, and I'm not local to this brewery, so that's strike 5, I guess.
Where is the brewery from?
So this is up in New York. It's in Ellicottville, New York, and I don't know exactly where that is. So
I think it's Buffalo.
okay, all right. So this is from Kiwi. Thanks, Kiwi. I totally remembered you sending me this. And the reason I put it off for so long is because of the flavor profile. And remember, red, white, and blueberry. The red is raspberry. The blueberry is blueberry.
I think I know what the white is.
What do you think the white is? Coconut. It's coconut. So
Snozberries.
So yeah, so that's why it's been sitting in my fridge for so long. Thank you, Kiwi, I assume, who sent it to me. Let's see how it is. Maybe it's the first coconut beer I'm going to like.
You never know.
You never
I like
know.
that.
Maybe,
You got to have that positive attitude.
maybe it's a 4.5 based on coconuts.
That would mean that it was really like you'd have to like change like your entire stance on coconut if it was a 4.5.
Maybe you'll pour it and it'll be 3 layers.
Oh,
That'll be separated.
That would
And the red and the blue are both 5s.
be right. And the coconut's like a 2.
And the coconut's a
It
3,
washes
but
out.
it still averages out to a 4.5.
Oh yeah. There you go. That's the math that would have worked. Well, I can tell you right now, I don't think that dream's coming true. Looking at it, it is a very nice looking beer. No head, which I'm not happy about, but it is a nice looking beer though. It looks it's kind of like a like, have you ever mixed cranberry juice and orange juice together?
Orange, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like that, maybe a little bit darker than that, depending on what ratio you go with. The smell, I mean, normally if a beer has coconut, I can pick it up right away. But this one I don't. I don't smell any coconut. I smell a nice raspberry, maybe a layer of blueberry in there. I feel like raspberry is stronger than blueberry. So I mean, smell wise, smells pretty good. It's got a little bit of those berry sweetness to it. So hopefully it's not too bad. I'm hoping it's pretty good. But there's only one way to truly find out, and that's by the mouth taste. So here we go. Okay, all right. So let's just address the elephant in the room. There is coconut in it. Okay, I can taste it, but it's on the back end, and honestly, it's not super overpowering. It's like it's not. It doesn't ruin the beer for me. Okay, like it doesn't make it like a 2.5 or whatever. And I don't know if that's just like the berry flavor making up for it, or maybe they didn't add a lot of coconut to it. That I don't know, but I only get it more so on the back end, and it doesn't leave the most pleasant aftertaste in my mouth now that I'm getting a little bit more of it. But it's not bad. It's not bad. The raspberry and the blueberry portions, which you get hit with the raspberry first. It gives you a nice like that nice tartness, and then the blueberry kind of sweetens it up in the middle, and then it does fade into that coconut, like a mix with the coconut at the end. Like those two flavors. Like if this were a red, white, and blue, like separated beer, like I feel like those two sections would be maybe mid like low to mid 4s. Now I can't give it a 4. I just can't.
Are you docking? Do you feel like the beer has aged poorly?
I don't get many markers that it's old. Like it still tastes crisp. It doesn't have any like there's no maltiness to it, nothing like that. Like I mean I think it aged relatively well for being 8 months old.
Yeah, because if I think of a beer that I think would age poorly, it would be a fruited sour. Or like not fruit sour, but like a fruited wheat ale, especially because like you're not going to be able to hide anything with the wheat ale.
But wheat ales, I mean, I don't picture them as aging at all. I think they just kind of stay as as is.
Well, I just feel like once you add fruit and you have those fruit compounds, there's a lot of funky stuff that could happen.
Yeah, I think it depends on how much they get out of the beer, like before they can it. Because I know I've had issues before with like cans exploding from fruit. That's like, okay, the fruit's going bad. Like, but this. So another plus is this was refrigerated the entire time. It did not leave my fridge. It just sat in the back of it for a while. So that's a plus as well. It's honestly, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like if you were a fan of coconut, I could see this approaching maybe that 4, maybe 4.25. I loved like the first 2/3. It's just the aftertaste. You get a hint of coconut on the back end, but it's not super powerful, and you still have the blueberry to like kind of help wash it out. And then the aftertaste, it's more like dry coconut grossness. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad. Not bad for a coconut beer. Not bad. I don't hate it. Now it's not gonna get a 4 from me. Like I said, I think that's probably like top range for this is probably a 4. You might get a couple 4.25s out of it. Let me see. Let me do one more. I think I know what it is. I'm gonna go 3.5. For me, it's not bad. Like even with that coconut, it doesn't ruin it for me, which I'm happy about. So thank you. I assume Kiwi for this. This is a palate expander.
Okay.
Maybe.
There you go.
So I am happy. I'm pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised.
So Chris, who brews this beer again?
Yeah. So this is Steelbound Brewery and Distillery.
Ooh.
And they're out of Ellicottville, New York. So that's why I'm assuming it's Kiwi. Kiwi right in. I mean, Tud right in.
All right, I've got the rating.
Okay. All right.
So
No, tell me what it is first.
So with 424 check-ins.
Ah, so close. 424. Let's just say 420 plus 4.
There you go. 420 plus 4. From now on, we will have to communicate all beers in that math.
Like Tud's earlier would have been 420 plus 5,512. Like
Correct. Obert's was 420 minus 300 and some odd.
I thought it was 69 divided by 2 minus some.
There you go. Jeez, I don't think it's gonna crack a 4. I would be surprised if it cracks a 4. I mean, it could happen. I don't think it's gonna crack a 4. Coconut is one of those flavors that's a little bit meh, a wheat ale, a brewery that I've never heard of. But Kiwi did send it to me, which gives me some good vibes.
How pissed are you gonna be when it was the other guy? He's gonna be so angry.
Yeah, if it was the other guy, this is a 2.5. No, I'm just playing. Jake, if you're listening, I'm just playing. No, I feel like Kiwi wouldn't have sent me a dud. But Jake wouldn't have either. So I think we're good.
So it's a 5.
So it's a 7. Yeah. No, I'm gonna give it a.
Tell you it was not a 7.
On a scale of 0 to 5 bottle caps.
I feel like you're off by more than a point.
7,
so therefore,
7 stars.
You lose a tally mark.
That's true. That is true. I have to think about that. I do have to think about that. I'm gonna say that the Untapped-iverse says it's a 3.86 is my guess.
So similar to how I was last week. If you flip those two numbers around, you'd be almost there.
6.83.
No, it's a 3.58.
Oh, I'll be almost there? Okay, so they're right on par with me then. Okay. Well, apparently I was wrong. For the first time, and I don't even remember the last time.
It's been a while.
Honestly. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Oh, well, that's what you get. That's what you get for having coconut in your beer.
Can't all be winners like me and Tud's beer.
I know. I'm so
True.
bummed. I should have. I have a couple bangers. I feel bad I didn't put one in now. Dang.
Hey, there's always next week.
There's always next week. That's true. I'm gonna go get myself a $66 bottle of beer.
Yeah, I recommend that you try to beat my purchase amount.
I don't know if we can. I don't know if that'd be a dangerous game.
All right. So with that, honk. Tud, you are manliest of people liest this week. I think you've earned
indeed
a tally mark. Oh man, this is number 20 up top.
Oh.
But ultimately, it's like number 25.
25.
It's not 25. It's
No,
more than 20, but it's less than 21.
It's definitely 20, exactly. Actually, it might be 18.
No, I have 2 tally marks down by Obert's head and 1 in a box.
These two count for more than 0, but less than 1. So he has 20 legit, although this one has an asterisk. I don't know if we acknowledge that, but there's a little asterisk right there.
That was like Sip of Sunshine or something like that.
No, that's what's in the box.
No, that's
I got it.
Torched Earth.
Torched Earth.
The
yes.
flat tire.
That one didn't count either. We
I
all knew
think that's
that one didn't count.
that's the lower one then. One of those 2.
Somebody, and by somebody I mean me, needs to edit a supercut of all the times we've argued over how many tally marks Ted has. All we'll say is it's more than 20. Ted has more than
You're probably right.
20 tally marks. And congratulations, man of people. You just had to spend $65 to win this week. So
I had to buy a tally mark.
hope you bought the tally mark.
Tally marks are worth more than $65. That's what we've learned.
Yeah, that's fair. So I can't wait to hear all these handles. But you know what else I can't wait to hear? It is this song from Jordan. Take it away.
Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Mug of wisdom! Drink. Mug of wisdom!
All right, Jordan, thank you as always. Wreck My Podcast. Check him out. Todd, man of the people.
That is me this week. I am the manliest of the people. So I'm going to go first this week. I'm just going to get the handle that everybody wants to talk about out of the way, just to make sure that nobody can steal it from me. Looking at you, Chris. My handle this week is a game that came out on Friday called Elden Ring. And for those of you who are longtime listeners of the podcast, you know that I am a big fan of the Dark Souls styles games. So Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Demon Souls. I've played them all. May not have beaten them all, but I've played them all. And I love every single one of them for different reasons, except for maybe Dark Souls 2. That one's not that much fun. But their newest game came out on Friday called Elden Ring, which is basically an open world version of all of those games I just mentioned meshed into one. So it's Dark Souls meets, Bloodborne meets Sekiro to kind of create an interesting Soulsborne style mashup of a game. Then throw that into like the Breath of the Wild type world where if you see something, you can climb it. Unless it's an ocean, you can't swim in the game, unfortunately. It's the way they keep you stuck onto the continent. But anywhere on the continent you can go at any given time. There are dungeons that are like one-offs, that are dungeons that progress the story. I started as a guy who literally was naked with a club, and I've worked my way up to a full set of armor, a big-ass sword, and some magic spells. It's a lot of fun. If you like the Dark Souls, Bloodborne style games, this is right up your alley. If you have never played them before, I do recommend this one as the entry point. I think this one is a difference maker. It's the culmination of all of the good things from all of the previous games, and we're talking games that go back for over a decade. It's a culmination of all those good things, all meshed into one to kind of create, one of the best games of all time. And, judging by the ratings of critics as well, and by, players, everybody seems to agree with that. It's the second highest rated game of all time on OpenCritic, which we learned was a new website today. It's like the fourth highest rated game on Metacritic. It is a game that I think everybody should experience. If you're just a fan of video games, I recommend trying it. I think that you guys would enjoy it. Obert, I think this is the time where I think you jump in and play a Dark Souls style game.
I just might, but I do have one question. You say it's a lot like the other Dark Souls games, and if I've never played one, this is a good one to start. What kind of game is it? It's
an open world RPG.
Okay.
It's an open world RPG with a fair but difficult play style, like curve.
And it's like you have a sword and shield kind of thing. There's magic, sounds like.
Sword, shield, magic. There's a horse in this one.
There's also
Ride around.
You did mention the horse. I'm not gonna lie, I am intrigued by this horse.
So the horse, there's never been a horse in another Dark Souls style game, and it does change literally the entire way the game is played. I know that's hard to hear as somebody who's never played those styles of games, but it adds a different feature that has never existed before, and it makes it a lot of fun.
But no, I just wanted to ask that as someone who doesn't know anything about Dark Souls games. Yes, I understand it's like a lot of those other games, but maybe just for those listeners who don't know what those are.
Yeah, and by the way, the stories are not connected in any of the Dark Souls games. They're never the same story. It's kind of like a Final Fantasy type thing where they're all called Final Fantasy, but they're not related. So just keep that in mind. So far it's a great game. I'm obsessed with it. I think about it. I want to play it. That's what I want to do.
All right.
I know that feeling. Now, Todd, is this released on all systems? Like all systems now? Because we found out earlier it wasn't released on the N64, and I don't know how I could play.
All current systems, I guess, except for the Switch.
Including
except
PC?
For the Switch. Yes, PC, Xbox, PlayStation.
Gotcha.
The last gens of those as well. It's on PS4. It's on Xbox One. The best way to play is the way that you can play it, I guess, is what I've heard. So, and I think it's playable on even a mid-tier computer.
Okay, cool.
Now that I'm done with my handle, I'm going to hand the mug off to Chris. Chris, what is your handle?
All right, so this time, guys, I have a handle that has not been used before.
Okay.
I went back and fact checked.
I won't believe you until we hear it.
I went back and fact checked. I checked the last couple 5-6 episodes to make sure. I have not used this as a handle before, so we're in the clear. Thank goodness. No more.
Chris, what's that
snafus.
on your wall?
Don't get me started. I'll talk about Bulbasaur again. Don't get me started. But it has to go to a Valentine's Day gift that I got for Dana, and it is a big blanket.
Okay.
All right. So there's a company out there. It's called the Big Blanket Company.
What do they make?
Original name.
They make really big blankets.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
Never would have guessed.
And so their product that they sell is a 100 square foot blanket.
Jesus Christ.
It is 10 feet by 10 feet. I'm not gonna lie, they're a little bit pricey, but when we got hers in, I should say, she's gonna be like, she'd be like, you said it was ours, but really it was a gift for me. And I was like, I know it's coming, but it's actually like really, really high quality. It's like really good quality. It's like a fleece type blanket. It's got some weight to it. It's pretty heavy and it's ginormous. We could use it on. And you both know I have a relatively long couch. Like we can use it on opposite ends of the couch and be covered up. The kids use it to they love crawling underneath it and stuff. Makes really good forts. It's really cool. Like we're already talking about maybe trying to get like a different version of like.
Do they sell them bigger?
Well, I'm going to make an even bigger blanket company.
Oh damn it!
Gotta get ahead of that.
Actually, it's funny that like you guys say that. Maybe I'll try and find something we can put
30
in the show notes,
by 30 by 30, Obert.
But they're 900 square feet.
You know what? Might as well just make it
That's
even
the size
faster.
of my house.
There's their social media marketing and their marketing in general is just like absolutely amazing. It's like really funny. If you go and like there's like mock Q&As where it's like, yeah, if you don't like a happy marriage, then yeah, you wouldn't have this blanket or something like that. Their advertisements and things are pretty funny. They do a really good job there. But I will say the quality is I was hesitant because you never know. It's like 10 by 10, but like it's nice quality blanket. It's super warm, even though it's like just a little fleece thing. And I think it's really cool. I think it's really nice. And the whole family, a blanket the whole family can enjoy.
There you go.
So,
But yeah,
check
I'm
'em
coming
out.
out. I'm coming out with an even bigger blanket company, 121 inches by 121 inches.
Damn it.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
we're
so
going
we'll put
we're going 900 square feet. I think that's the play.
900 square.
You
I
could
don't know
tent
about
your
that.
house for cockroaches with this thing.
Listen. If I said I got a 900 square foot, blanket for you, nobody's ever going to say no.
You know those memes where it's like
Till you suffocate under it.
do you want to come over? And it's like no, I gotta study. Like, oh, my parents aren't home. It's like, do you want to come over? I got a 900 square foot blanket.
Oh man, but yeah. So check them out. Big Blanket Company. We'll put a link in the show notes.
There you go.
So there you go. And and you guys have not heard that one before. It's
No,
brand
It
new.
is true.
It's brand
That's a new
new.
one.
Hot
I
off the
mean-
presses.
I mean, I knew you had it because I had gotten a Snapchat from your wife with it in it.
Right.
But
right.
it's
right.
new on this podcast.
There it is. That's what we go for.
Well, I'm gonna take this Frosty mug from Chris, top it off with our last handle of wisdom, and I'm also going to put over a Valentine's Day gift. But this is one that I received instead of gave, and that was a make your own gin kit.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's pretty straightforward. It comes with a couple bottles to put your gin in, like a funnel and some paper filters and a whole bunch of the like aromatics and what's the right word I'm looking for? The things that you add into the gin. Yeah.
Juniper?
Yeah, the juniper berries. It gives you a lot of those. Botanicals. That's the word. I don't know why I was struggling with that.
That's a good name.
But it's really straightforward, and you just buy vodka or take a unflavored spirit, and you age it with juniper for 24 hours, and then you filter that out and you age it with the other botanicals you choose for another 24 hours, and you can customize and make your own gin. And they have, I'll say, 8 to 10 different botanicals and a little bit of a flavor description in what flavor they add. And they have like suggested recipes, but you can really customize it all yourself. And it was fun to make the first batch, but I'm really interested in making more to compare and see what I like and how much of each botanical I like to add in, if that makes sense.
So can you make more than one batch then? How many batches can you make?
Yeah, it gives you enough for a few batches it gives you the most of the juniper because you're going to use that in all of them. And it gives you, there's like coriander and orange peel and pink peppercorn and like a whole bunch of different stuff. So it depends on what you want to do, but we also have wild juniper that grows here. So I kind of want to pick my own this year and then use that to keep making more because it's really, really easy.
Yeah, I didn't realize gin was vodka with
Stuff
botanicals
added?
in it.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
gin
it's
was
just
a
a-
different type of liquor. I didn't know gin's base was vodka.
Yeah, it's just a flavored neutral spirit. And I don't think it has to be vodka. You can, I think.
What else would it be?
Well, plus, I don't really know what vodka is.
Rum?
Like, because you can make vodka with potato, you can make it with corn, you can make it with, like, beets, I think. I don't know. You can make vodka with a bunch of different stuff. But, yeah, it's
Well, what's
just
another neutral spirit? I mean,
Right.
is it rum? Is rum a neutral spirit? Like, no, right? Like
No, I don't think so.
clear
yeah.
tequila?
No, I think it's anything. I think it's just like just basically pure
Everclear?
alcohol and water, basically. But anyway, I'm not going to get to the science of distilling here too much. I think you should make your own gin if you're someone who likes gin, because I did and I had a blast. And I wasn't sure if I should make this my handle yet because I haven't tried it, but I'll have follow up on the pod when I do have it. And
It
and
sounds
I'll let
like
you
we should
guys
do an Obert cocktail minute where you
I
make
know.
a drink with it.
well, yeah, that might be coming. But yeah. So like, I'll put a link in the show notes and check it out. You can make your own gin yourself.
So with that, we'd like to thank you all for listening. First, we'd like to thank the breweries that provided today's beers. I will go first and thank Goose Island for their Bourbon County Double Barrel brand toasted barreled stout, Bourbon County stout. That's a lot of words.
I would like to thank Steelbound Brewery and Distillery and Kiwi, I think, for the red, white, and blueberry wheat ale.
And I want to thank Imagine Nation for their collective consciousness.
Please make sure you head over to social media and follow us everywhere at DAWF Podcast. Also, make sure you hashtag follow the email at dawfpodcast@gmail.com. Also, please head over to Patreon, and for as little as $1 a month, you can get extra episodes of Drinking Alone with Friends. This week, we actually do have a pregame episode where Chris drank a run back of a beer that Obert had previously had. So head on over there if you need a little bit more Drinking Alone with Friends in your life. Like I said, it's as little as $1 a month, or $10 bajillion if you'd like to give us that too. Cool. We'll name the entire show after you if that's the case.
Yes.
Also, please head over to Discord and join the conversation over there with other people who are fans of the show. And finally,
Tell us on Discord the most expensive beer you've ever had.
Oh, there you go.
there you
That's a
go.
good one.
And also, finally, please head over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star rating and review, because that truly is the best way to get the word out about our podcast. And we do greatly appreciate you. And we appreciate everyone, whether you're a Patreon subscriber or just a normal listener. And with that, my name's Tud.
My name's Chris.
And I'm Obert. And remember, if you're drinking alone, do it with friends.
This is a booze beer. Holy shit.
I bet you can't wait to cuddle up under your 10,000 square foot blanket.
Oh, man. A 900 square foot blanket right now is so good.
Just imagine being in the middle of it. It's
I know,
basically
right?
like the parachutes we came with in gym.
I honestly thought, 10 by 10. I know that's big. I think my couch is a little bit bigger than yours, Chris, and I just feel like it'd be too small.
I don't know. You might not be able to do the whole thing. There are some concerns because Lucas gets lost in it sometimes. He doesn't quite know how to get out of it. And, don't let your kids breathe unsupervised, especially if they're 1.5.